Hey, what's going on? So, this past weekend was the Super Bowl, and I guess everyone was excited except me. I was the only person not excited about it. Me and the other billions of people around the world who could give two fucks about it. I was excited about another event that took place over the weekend. And you may think I'm fucking insane, and you may think, what's the big deal? But I was excited for Saturday Night Live. Now, I've been a big fan of that show since the early 90s when Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Mike Myers, and all those guys were on it. That's the season that I started watching it. And I've been on and off, whenever there's a new cast, you get a little bit turned off. It takes a while before you get used to them, but eventually most of them do a really good job and I continue to watch. But this past weekend, I was excited for the host of Saturday Night Live. It was one sexy, one beautiful, long-legged, vivacious Kristen Stewart. Yeah, I know you probably think I'm crazy for being excited for Kristen Stewart. Who the fuck gets excited for her? I do. I don't know why, or I'm going to try to explain. I'm going to do my best, but I've always had a thing for her. I think she's sexy as hell, man. I know she's got this dopey look in her eye, like she's just fucking smoked a big fat blunt all the time, and she's weird as fuck, which I thought it was an act at first. I thought that she was like just putting on this act to be weird, but I think she just might be like that. That's who she is. And I like her for it. And I think she's physically a very attractive woman too. But yeah, I don't know why. I think I have a thing for strange girls. Like, I'll give you an example of two other girls that I'm attracted to. Lana Del Rey. There's another weirdo for you. Beautiful girl, but if you've ever seen her interviews or even listened to her music or watched her videos, she seems a little bit off. But I like her for it. Same with Dakota Johnson, the girl that stars in the 50 Shades of Grey movie. She's got a very, I don't know, I don't know. I find her charming in a strange way. I don't know. I like strange women. I don't like your typical normal run-of-the-mill girls, I guess. And Kristen Stewart to me is the epitome of that. And I've always had a thing for her. I'll watch any shitty movie that she's in just because she's in it. Except for the Twilight movies. I can't get myself to watch that. I can't bring myself to watch those movies. I've watched them for like 5 or 10 minutes and I'm out. I don't know how anybody can sit through that garbage. And I don't even think she looks that good in those movies. But yeah, so I was so excited that she was going to host SNL because she actually doesn't do a lot of interviews. You don't see her on TV that much. Maybe because she used to get a lot of hate. I don't know if people still hate her. I don't know why, but there was just so much hate towards her, and it seemed so unnecessary. Just all kinds of horrible things to the point that I think it drove her off of social media. I was trying to look her up like a few years ago, trying to look her up on Twitter, and I couldn't find her. There was all these fake accounts, but not the actual Kristen Stewart, and I think she was getting so much hate that she decided not to be a part of that world. Good for her, I guess. But yeah, so the opening monologue was interesting to me. And by the way, she looks good in anything, I think. I know a lot of you are going to think I'm crazy, but she, to me, she's very sexy and she's got a very beautiful face. And whatever, you can disagree with me, but that's where I stand on that. And I think she looks good wearing anything. She could put on a fucking garbage bag and I think she'll still look good. And I love that dress that she was wearing at the opening monologue of SNL. and she started by talking about how Donald Trump was obsessed with her and her ex-boyfriend's Robert Pattinson's relationship, and how he tweeted 11 times about her. That was news. I didn't realize Donald Trump was so obsessed with her. Well, but in a negative way. He actually doesn't like her and thinks she's a cheating, lying bitch based on the tweets that he was throwing out there. But what was surprising to me was that right at the end of her talking about Donald Trump, she dropped a bomb. At least to me, I didn't know that. I don't know if this is common information, common knowledge, but she said she was gay. I don't know if that's how she decided to come out, or I'm the only idiot who didn't know about this. But okay, cool, whatever. I have seen pictures of her, with some female some female DJ or something, EDM DJ, whatever you call them. I'm so ignorant. I don't even know what if there's a proper term for that. But yeah, so there was pictures and rumors that she was hooking up with that girl who I guess is gay as well. I don't care, whatever. I still think she's beautiful, very attractive, and I'll still go watch her shitty movies. Not all of them are shitty. I think some of them have been okay. But yeah, that was surprising to me. I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is common information, but I didn't know about it. Or I don't even know if she was just joking. She was just, fucking with Donald. Either way, I don't care. It was great. And in typical full Kristen Stewart fashion, she ended her segment by dropping an F-bomb, which I haven't seen since like maybe 10 years ago when Jenny Slate said fuck on Saturday Night Live, and notice she's not there anymore. But I don't think she got fired for that. I think she just, I guess, what is it, Lorne Michaels didn't like her. Who knows what happened. But yeah, typical Kristen Stewart drops the F-bomb on national live television. And that's how the first segment ended, and I was fucking full of joy because I thought this is going to be a good episode. Because I was hoping that she would fuck up more. Look, I know it's crazy that I'm that excited over Kristen Stewart. I've never met anyone in my life that gets excited over her. I've never even met anyone else that's physically attracted to her. And this is not a knock against her, but I don't know if people are afraid to admit it. Are not what the fuck am I trying to say? I don't know if people are afraid to admit that they find her attractive, but I've yet to meet a guy that's so physically attracted to her. Like I am a little bit obsessed with her. It's kind of unhealthy, to be quite honest. I gotta back it down a notch. The next segment the next skit that she was in, she played a college student that has a bit of an alcoholic problem, and it was kind of funny, but not all Saturday Night Live skits are a home run. This one was okay. I think she fits the role of playing an alcoholic college student. Oddly enough, she in the skit she got a no-hawk. I don't know if that's an actual thing where you shave the middle part of your head. So instead of having a mohawk, you have a no-hawk, no hair in the middle. She would get drunk and would get herself in some horrible situations where she got one of those African plate lips that you see these African tribe women get them on their bottom lip, except she got it on her vagina. They didn't show it. I mean, my sick, perverted side would have liked to have seen something like that, but it's fake. It's a skit, I know. But and then later on, she went on to talk about how she got so drunk she woke up and she shitted out an egg, and she didn't understand. She thought she had eaten it, but it turns out that, well, she thought she had eaten it and her body didn't digest it. And she ended up pooping out a full egg, but it turns out for some reason she shoved a fucking full egg up her ass. It was kind of a cute skit, I guess. I think my favorite one though was well, two. One, because I'm a sick pervert and she ends up making out with one of the other female cast members from SNL, and the other one was when she plays Giselle Bundchen. But before we get to the Giselle Bundchen skit, the one where she's making out with the SNL cast member, that was actually surprisingly kind of steamy. You know, that was kind of hot the way they did it. I guess they were parroting like a sexy French commercial or something. It was for some stupid made up product called Tostinos or something. But it was surprisingly erotic. Maybe because it's Kristen Stewart and I like her so much. But they end up hosting each other. They end up being all wet and making out. It was kind of hot, actually. Then they moved on to the I'm only focused on the Kristen Stewart skits. I'm not gonna talk about everything else. It was a Family Feud skit, and she was playing Giselle Bundchen, and holy shit, I gotta tell you, man, she looked better than Giselle, and she looked really tall. I don't know how tall she is, but I didn't think she was that tall, but she looked. I know she was wearing high heels and all, but I always thought she was kind of like a 5'5", 5'6". She looked close to like 5'10", 5'11". I don't know how tall she is, but she fit, or she looked the part of a supermodel to me. Wearing that tight black dress, showing off her long legs and everything. If you didn't know any better, to me, I would have thought she is some sort of a supermodel. She did have something on her knee that was kind of odd. Maybe, you know, she starts off her day. She starts off her day on her knees, like Ted Cruz or Mike Pence. If you don't know what I'm talking about, at some point during the 2016 election, I think it was Ted Cruz who said that he starts off his day on his knees, and everyone just sort of fucking clowned him for it. I mean, it just sounds weird. It sounds sexual, like he starts off his day sucking dick or something. I know what he meant. He means he starts off on his knees praying. But, you know, perverted America or everybody else who isn't religious just took it as a sexual thing. Which was hilarious. But Kristen did a good job playing Giselle. She even the accent wasn't perfect, but it was a good attempt at a Brazilian accent. I'm not really good at doing a Brazilian accent, but I've heard it enough to know a good imitation of a Brazilian accent, and she did a pretty decent job. The next skit, I guess she plays a character that looks more or less like herself. It's a character that looks more or less like her usual disheveled self. Messy hair, clothes that don't fit properly. Just, you know, typical Kristen Stewart that you see in tabloid pictures. It's kind of a backhanded compliment. So she meets some dude, and I guess they have a connection, but they walk away not exchanging any information. And for the next several minutes, or the next day in the skit, or the night, the guy spends his whole time looking her up on the phone book and Facebook, and she's all excited that apparently they set up a date, but since they didn't exchange any information, none of them know where they're gonna meet. So she shows up at a restaurant, he doesn't show up. It was kind of a dumb skit. I didn't care for it too much, but there is a part of the skit where she's changing into a lot of different outfits, and I gotta tell you, she looks good in anything she wears. I think it further solidifies my argument that I think she's got a very nice body and she looks good in anything. I've yet to see her, even when she wears like something that she threw on after a night of heavy drinking and she just rolled out of bed and threw something that doesn't fit her. I still think it still looks good on her. Yeah, look, I know you're probably thinking I'm crazy and that most of you are not going to agree with me that she's an attractive girl. I think she is. I like everything about her, her personality. And you're also probably thinking, hey, man, you might want to back it down a bit. This is getting a little bit creepy. You're getting a little bit too obsessive with some girl you've never met. And the truth is, even if I ever got the opportunity to meet her or if I ever saw her in person, I don't think I would go up to her and talk to her. I don't care. It's not something I do. I've seen a couple of celebrities in my life, and I would never ever bother them. I would never approach them, and I wouldn't even know what to say. It's not in me. I don't get that mindset to approach a celebrity and ask them for a picture or a selfie or to sign something. It's pointless. I mean, I get the picture part, but I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know. It's just not in me, and I don't think I would do it with her. Um, I just I just admire her beauty and admire her personality. I don't know. There's something about her weirdness that appeals to me. And it's not like I have a chance with her. I mean, I look like fucking refried hamburger helper, and she looks like a fucking movie star. She who the fuck even knows that I would get along with her? I don't know what she's like in real life. I'm only basing it on what I've seen on TV, on movies, or interviews. I don't know anything other than that about her. And that whole thing about her being gay, I don't know if that's real or not. It doesn't matter. It's not like I ever had a chance with her anyways. And I I I live in reality. Relax. I just like her a lot, and I know that most of you are gonna think you're out of your mind or you have bad taste in women, and I'm basing this on all the negative, horrible comments that I've read about her. She gets a shit ton of hate, and people say some horrible things about her, but I disagree. I think she's beautiful, and to me, that was more exciting than the Super Bowl, and yeah, I don't even know what else to say. It's probably gonna be a long time before she hosts SNL or does anything like this again, but I'll be there watching because I'm sick in the head. I don't know.